Yo, 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 what's happening, people? Okay, so it is time for another serious Sunday. Time for another serious Sunday video, which I've not done for a big while now, me thinks. It's been a little while since I've done one of these serious Sunday videos. So yeah, I'm going to talk about health, because health is wealth. And I feel like I've learned a little bit about health in the last couple of weeks. Things that I want to learn in the last few weeks I want to share with you guys. Now, I don't know, maybe you already know what I'm about to say. Maybe this is common knowledge. You know, maybe I'm just like spitting in the wind. I don't know. But I feel like I've learned a few things that I want to share with you guys. And maybe it helps. Hopefully it helps. If not, sorry. But yeah, serious Sunday videos, for those who might not know, are videos that I do every so often where I pick a topic that's been on my mind and I ramble for however long this video is. And as is tradition, it is not Sunday. So with that said, let's talk about health. So I guess the main thing I'm going to say in this video is that I feel like most people probably don't have to make as big a changes to their life as you might think you do. Because when it comes to being healthy and trying to be healthier, a lot of times I feel like we go hard, right? We hit the gym, we start running for 2 hours on a treadmill every day, and we start making all these changes to the food we eat. It's like eating salads all day and fruits and vegetables all day, and we kind of make these big drastic changes which become very, very hard to maintain because mentally it's draining, right? And you're not really giving your body what it needs in terms of like nutrients and just love, quite frankly. You need to give your body some love, and that's a big part of it. Now, you've probably seen like in like movies or TV shows where they have like a scene where like a girl got cheated on by her boyfriend or whatever, and she's crying in her apartment and she's eating a tub of ice cream, and it's kind of like this, I know, thing that's kind of a joke, but it's also not too far from the truth. Like, certain foods do make you feel better. Like, that is a fact. Certain foods do make you feel better. It's like, the term comfort food exists for a reason. They make you feel better, and you need that. You need to make sure you're having those as part of being healthy. But of course, you can't eat so much of it that you become unhealthy. So there's a balance to be found. But you just can't ignore it completely. And one of the things that happens is, like, let me talk about water for a moment. Actually, let me come back to that whole fat and wet in a bit. Let me talk about water, because like one of the things that you might hear is that you need to drink like 2 liters of water a day or 2.5 liters of water a day or something like that. And that's not untrue, but it's also not entirely true. Like, so this is what I've learned recently, is that yeah, you do need 2 liters of water a day, or round about that much. But you don't actually need to drink 2 liters of water a day, because a lot of the water that our body uses actually comes from food. All foods have, water content, some level of water content. Some have a little bit, some have a lot of bits, right? But they all have water. Things like fruits and vegetables have more water. Something like toast, for example, has less water. So if you're just eating your normal foods in a day, you probably only really need to actually drink about 1 liter of water, and some of you might not even need to drink that much, but about 1 liter is actual drinking per day, and you're most likely going to be fine. So you don't need to make some drastic change to your life, trying to drink 2 liters of water a day every day, and then finding that you're just pissing all the time, because that will happen. When you drink that much water, you'll be pissing a lot. And if you have a job where you don't have immediate access to a toilet, you'll be holding your pee a lot. And since you'd have more urine in your bladder than you would typically have, it will be very, very uncomfortable. So it's a lot to go through to do something that you probably just don't even need to do. You know what I mean? So yeah, about 1 liter, I reckon about 1 liter, 1.2 liters maybe, depending on what you're eating. But you really don't need to go all hard out trying to drink that much water. You'll be fine. Just like balance out your foods, make sure you have a good range of foods, and you'll be fine. and your bladder will thank you, and so will your water bill because you're not flushing so much. But yeah, let's get back to like the fatty stuff now, because like calories in versus calories out is a big thing, especially with, you know, people who are trying to lose weight. You know, it effectively comes down to how many calories you burn versus how many calories you consume. If you consume more calories than you burn, you gain weight. If you consume less calories than you burn, you lose weight. And of course, there's more to it than that. You know, there's other things to consider and different various factors of people's health and specific conditions and that whole thing. But basically, yeah, it's going to come down to calories in versus calories out, right? Now, that's all well and good. But again, you don't need to go super hard. Like, you don't need to go running on a treadmill for 2 hours a day, or even jogging, you know, run around the park for like 3 miles. You know, most people won't even need to do that. I'm not saying you shouldn't, by the way. Let me be clear with that. I'm not saying you shouldn't do these things because, you know, the healthy you want to be, of course. But I'm just talking generally. I feel like most people don't necessarily have to do all that. If you're trying to be healthy, you don't have to do all that. And what really it's going to come down to just understanding your body more and understanding what you're eating, how much you're eating, and when you're eating, and just like making a few tweaks to maybe your diet, to your day, and you're probably going to be fine. So we all have what's called a BMR, which is your basal metabolic rate, which is the amount of calories that your body naturally burns in a day. And so yeah, just you always burn calories. Like if you're alive, you're burning calories. That's how that works. If you're thinking, if you're breathing, you're burning calories. You're doing something, you're burning calories. Actually, even if you're just not doing anything, just lying in bed, you're still burning calories. Like that's how your body works. Like you're always burning calories. Now, the amount of calories you burn is going to vary from one person to another. Younger people typically burn more calories in a day naturally than older people, and that's an important thing, because like you probably knew somebody back in school, maybe it was you actually, I don't know, we'll see, but you probably knew somebody back in school that, you know, they ate burgers and chips all day every day and never gained any weight. They most likely had a higher natural BMI. Some people's BMI is naturally higher than others. You know, they most likely had a naturally higher BMR, basal metabolic rate than most people. They just eat all day, and the problem there is that when you're young, you develop those bad habits of eating everything. You get older, you don't realize your metabolism is decreasing as you're aging, but you maintain all these habits that you picked up as a kid. You just keep going and keep going and keep going. So you're consuming more, but you're burning less. You see them like, you know, when they were 15, 16 years old and they were fit, they were slim. You see them like 20, maybe 30 years later, and you're like, damn, homie, in high school, you were the man, homie. It's like that, right? So yeah, knowing your BMR, I think, is a big thing, because once you know that, you can start making adjustments to fit certain things. If you consider, for example, that, I don't know, a typical meal, nothing too crazy, of course, just a typical reasonable portioned meal is probably going to be somewhere between 400 and 600 calories, maybe 700 calories, you know. And if you have 3 meals a day, you know, that's, let's say, up to 2,100 calories in a day, right? So if your BMR is around, say, 2,500, you're doing okay. You know, you're burning more naturally than you're consuming. If your BMR is, let's say, I don't know, 1,800, 1,800, then you're naturally burning less than you're consuming. And that's where you might be like, okay, well, I could either do a couple of things. I could either adjust my portions a little bit, or I could take a walk. Like we're doing right now, walking by the river. Just take a walk. Just little things that you can add or tweak to your day that would either mean you consume a little bit less calories or you can burn a little bit more calories. And I feel like if once we understand a bit, but it's not about making these big drastic changes that are unsustainable, but just making small changes here and there, then over time, you start seeing the differences. But yeah, literally just taking a walk. do some cleaning. I mean, if your house dirty, do some cleaning. You should clean your house anyway. Clean your house anyway, you're dirty. But yeah, things like that, just something physical. It doesn't have to be some massive, drastic, now you got to, run up a mountain and train for the Iron Man. Bruh. Most of us ain't built like that. Most of us ain't trying to be like that. But just little changes, literally just little changes, little tweaks here and there that you can do and you can maintain. And then, over a period of time, you'll start seeing changes, you start feeling different. But I think, and if you want to, you could then start doing more. You can then start running more if you want to, adjusting this and changing that if you want to. But literally in the beginning, small tweaks. It's manageable, it's sustainable, it's less daunting. Trying to drink 2 liters of water a day, every day, bruh. Listen, man, the way you be pissing is so much. Yeah, I know. Talking from experience right now. You be pissing a lot. It's ridiculous. You could probably fill a swimming pool. You be pissing a lot. But yeah, just small tweaks. Small tweaks. So yeah, these are all these things that you've heard about drinking water, about calories. It's all true. It's just not necessarily the entire truth. And I feel like that needs to be spoken about more, because I feel if more people could understand that, more people could maybe make these small changes and realize that trying to be healthy isn't necessarily as daunting as it might seem. Now, again, I know some people have different conditions, different health conditions, different things you're dealing with. So I'm not suggesting everybody can just do the same thing and all that kind of stuff. I get that, but for whatever you can do, whatever small changes you can make, do that. Do that. Whatever that little bit you can change, do that. Figure out that thing and then do that. You can find out your BMR, by the way. There's ways you can find out your BMR. There's like machines that will measure it for you. Like if you're at a gym, they sometimes have those machines that do it. If you're not at a gym, you might be able to get one you might be able to find one at your doctors or something. You might be able to do it, like your local doctors. There's also like weighing scales you can buy that do it as well. Plus there's ways you can figure it out. I don't really know how that is though, but there's ways you can like calculate it and stuff. But yeah, knowing your BMR I think is one of the first steps. Just knowing what that is, and then from there you could be like, okay, this is what I naturally burn in the day. Let me make this is what I normally would consume. Where can I change? What can I do differently? And then go from there. Small changes, bring it down, bring maybe a few things down a little bit, maybe a few things up a little bit. You do that over a period of time, you start feeling different, you start seeing changes, you start all of that, you know what I mean? So that's really wanted to say, that being healthy and making a choice to be healthy isn't as daunting as it might seem. I know I've seen this. I know I've seen plenty of people do this. I've done it myself, where it's like you just go all in and it's just not sustainable. And it's just like, you know what? Small changes, small tweaks here and there. You know what I mean? Put a podcast on. I've got a podcast if you want to listen to that. And just go for a walk. Let's go for a walk. But anyway, that's me done rambling for, what was it, 13? About 13 and a half minutes, nearly 14-ish minutes, whatever. Till whenever. If ever. Peace.